Welcome to another episode of Pitchside Podcast
Pitchside.
Pitchside. How are you guys?
No,
21 Jump Street.
Sharp. I just want us to look at the Amazulu game, the league game when the team played away, the draw.
Are you shy also?
I'm super shy, still skinny and fantastic.
And actually, that's a good question.
Hey.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
But how which
No, second twice. No, people actually thought
check.
I'm second twice.
That's not good.
Yeah. So back to business. Sugar pan. I wanted to go to the say. So the performance. I don't think my personal opinion is I don't think right now I think the difficulties of just winning the league in advance and coming back to try and play the best that you can, knowing that you've won something. Sometimes it's mentally challenging, and I think maybe looking at the league itself from the moment that it was clear that Sundowns has won the league, we struggled to start getting maximum points from those games. Don't you think, or maybe that's where the challenge is, or what's the issue of us not getting maximum points?
I think for me, it would be the guys Baba Fitlan in the lineup having to come up from injuries and having to go straight into the lineup. A lot of times, as you know, as players, you go into the field about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or utole that thing. So I think, excuse me.
Squeeze me.
That's the rest. So I think maybe from where I'm sitting, coaching the game, it's not a bad performance from the Majid. It was bound to happen towards the end of the game as Amazulu picked up from the lapse of maybe the fitness level. Majid is not the same.
Yeah.
And I can easily mention a little of players that they are coming into the lineup. Musa was one of the players who hadn't played enough. And he came and played. Not only Musa, Chumba came. A lot of
from
things
injury.
A lot of things that he has to do. He has to deal with the midfield, the young Tando. It's a complete new midfield altogether. So then it gives you a lot of not imbalance in terms of position, because then a lot of times you lose position without much pressure from the opposition. So that tells you how the level of match fitness requires from the players. But more than anything, I think the best performance of the individuals, I can easily say, having to see them, even leading 2-0, that for me needed more legs in terms of managing the team, in terms of managing that match towards the end, to say, no, we're leading 2-0. Remember when we used to get tired, super tired, when we had so many matches. We will try to score earlier
so that we can manage the game.
We can manage the game. So try to starve the opposition that possession. Because, of course, you're playing against teams that are looking to get those points. Even 1 point, it matters to them. So, of course, they'll bring everybody. They'll try to risk it, and it's difficult when you're playing against somebody who is not afraid to.
Sugar, your opinion?
Yeah, like you said and Skipper said that it really required a lot of management of the game. Towards the end, it really was a bit difficult for the team. But what I like most about the overall game, especially these past few games, is that the team refuses to lose. They do the best in order for them not to lose the game. So because they've already done the work of winning the league, they've got room to also recover. Because they put in a lot of work throughout the beginning of the season until the last until they won the league with 7 games to go. It took a lot from the legs, so you can really expect that now. And priorities, I think they've also shifted a bit to say we go all out more in the Champions League, because we see the light.
Maybe hence the change of lineups.
It plays a big role, and you must understand that the fluidity of the game will be different because it's not the same team, and others are still trying to find their feet in the team. Like Keke said, that you coming from injury and you're thrown into the deep end, you're thrown into the starting lineup. It was really good to see the likes of Lebo Mabue also getting in and getting an assist. That's his. So Terence was there. So it's something that we really just need to accept, and the team also needs to be managed in terms of the legs in order for us to be ready for the forthcoming game. You can see the games are coming thick and fast, but it still remains the same. The team doesn't lose. That's the positive side that I'd like to take, that the team refuses to lose.
And also I think it's one of those opportunities, rare opportunities Mamelodi Sundowns have. Most teams, they prepare their teams study friendlies for the new season, to see the players. You've got your Mashekos that haven't been in and out of the team because of the injuries. You've got Kotsia that has been in and out of the team because of the injuries. A lot of guys. The other guys you also mentioned. Like I said, a lot of teams prepare their teams off-season, study friendlies, a lot of friendlies and all that stuff. Mamelodi Sundowns have an opportunity right now. Ever since officially won the league, you look at the lineups that have been playing, you can see that maybe I would like to ask the coach as well, as to, is he using these games as a preparation for the next season? Because you can see also the midfielders, a lot of guys are getting game time, a lot of combination have been tried. Even though we're not losing the games, we're still not as fluent as you want to be. But yet again, those are the games that you actually need to judge yourself as a player, not the coach, but as a player, as to, okay, how far are you? Because the only way you can see or know how far are you is by playing games. And training only is not going to give you a true reflection as to how far are you. And I think in that regard, I think still the team is still on the right track. Yes, we're not winning as many games as you want to. Maybe the target is not a problem. Maybe the target that we think as fans, it's not an issue to the team. Maybe the team has bigger plans. Next season, the games are going to be tough. The league is going to be compressed. We know there's AFCON in January, so there's going to be a lot of games in between, and you need the legs. And also during this time of the season, every season, it's one of those times where you need to. Unfortunately, the lineup is going to change because suspensions, lack of form, fatigue. So it's always going to be, you're always going to have that type of imbalance. But I think for me personally, I think you're better off having those type of imbalances when you have won the league already. So you can actually play around and have a little bit of freedom by giving other opportunities to other guys as well. But looking ahead now, we have Marumo Gallant's game. A team that also is fighting. They're not safe yet from relegation. Just like Amazulu. If Amazulu loses against us, they drop in. So there's a lot of the space between top 8 and relegation is this small. Every result, it changes the bottom of the log. It's now we're playing against a team also that really wants to survive, really wants to come out of that position, and you know how tricky they are. They are also a footballing team. How do you see this game pending out in Polokwane?
Well, for me, I think it's gonna be a game of the mind, where you have to play it in the mind first and try to, suppress every pressure that comes with the match, because you're playing against the individuals that are trying to fight out of the bottom half. So for me, I think players need to really understand that pressure, the pressure matches that they're playing. Luckily, they won the league, which for me gives them a bit of a breather in terms of how you approach the match. Looking at the match, for me, I think it's going to be the same as Amazulu, where if you score first, you have to manage it until the last minute. So for me, I think Maruma Gallants has got even more ball playing players in the midfield than Amazulu in the midfield. I look at Alaki, Ngema in the midfield, even when they play Manaka as a 3-minute midfielder. These are the players that are very comfortable on the ball. So I think with the team that has played against Amazulu, and the team, of course, they always want to be on the ball. It's going to be very interesting to see, because with them, the only challenge with them is they know they can afford to concede against Sundowns.
Yeah.
So as a result, they will try by all means to pack that midfield.
Yeah.
And I'm anticipating a lot of actions that will come from that midfield.
Yeah, Sugar.
Yeah, for me, it's a game that requires a lot of concentration because you're coming up against a team that is also confident. They're doing well in the in the Confederations Cup, so they've got that mindset. The mindset has already changed and shifted from what they may be faced with in terms of relegation. So they've got a positive mind to say they can do it. So it's also going to be a good tester, preparation for both teams. They're playing continental football. You wouldn't want any other game to prepare you for the next phase of the semi-finals in the CAF. So it's just going to be a good game. Like you said, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be similar to that of Amazulu, whereby you score, you need to make sure that, because the opposition team is not going to give up until the last whistle. So the mentality is there. It's Champions League mentality. So you can easily just find time to watch how we will both prepare each other for the bigger
semi-final.
I just love it. It's like a national game. The whole nation can stand still and watch us prepare to go and represent the nation.
Our country, because the two teams are in the semi-final, which for me says
Super Cup before Super Cup.
I was looking for that word.
I know.
But I love the fact that I can easily say the Maruma Gallants players, they are now totally different.
They're different players.
Different.
In terms of
mentality,
how
they
see
believe.
things. So it's just they are very dangerous in terms of how they can apply themselves, because confidence-wise, you can't question that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of luck has been short in their team, because in so many matches that I've watched them play, they've been playing very, very well. So I just hope it's going to be an open match where everybody will be interested in seeing what the matches will be, in the semi-final, because we're preparing to go in the semi-final. But a lot of players, like you said, in the team, that the idea of giving so many players a chance for next season, it's a good thing, because remember, in the coming season, as you've mentioned, teams will come and say, we saw Sundowns how they played last season, so let's see what they've got this season. So I'm sure it will be preparing, different formation, different personnel. I think that would be a good idea, if that is the idea behind changing of personnel in the team, because you need that as a big team. Big team, you have to have so many structures, as long as you play within the structure of the team.
I think it's important for Mamelodi Sundowns to keep on evolving, because it's when teams, it's easy for, I think teams are mostly comfortable when they're the ones chasing, but when you're the one that is being chased, it's the most uncomfortable thing, because every game you play, everybody wants to beat you. And I think with Mamelodi Sundowns being in that position, they know, they should know, the coach should know, the whole team should know that next season everybody will be gunning for them. The exhaustion of Mamelodi Sundowns' dominance, it's imminent. Everybody speaks about it. So every team will prepare a little bit better when it comes to Mamelodi Sundowns. Structure will be different. So it's always important for Mamelodi Sundowns to evolve, to test new things, because you're the lead of the pack. You need to be able to.
That word that they normally use. You use the word setter something.
Trendsetter.
Oh, that's the word I was looking
know.
You use it a lot. I'm afraid. I'm like, okay, you're trendsetter.
Yeah.
He told me.
So
I got your back, man. On and off the pitch.
Yeah, because also speaking of trendsetters, because there's a lot of identity that I see on some of the teams that Mamelodi Sundowns are doing, but it just that now it doesn't come out, or maybe it's not celebrated because of maybe those teams are not as fluent, are not as clinical as Mamelodi Sundowns, where you see two inverted wing backs coming into the midfield. I'm starting to see that a lot in our league because of Mamelodi Sundowns are perfecting it, and which means of course they are trendsetter, which means people also, other teams as well, they're trying to evolve, they're trying to refine their strategies, refine their form, whatever the case might be, just to be better. So I strongly believe and think, well, the next season is going to be very difficult, not only for Mamelodi Sundowns. It's just going to be a difficult season because everything, as much as I remember at some stage we spoke about, there were a lot of questions about the standard of football in South Africa. But if you look at standard of football in South Africa in numbers, because I think something that football fans and footballers don't want to look at, numbers, and numbers actually makes football. They're part and parcel of the football. If you look at previously, 53, 52 points used to win the league. 30 points used to be safe from relegation. None of those exist right now. You understand? So which means we in that sense, football has improved. Now you have a team that has been fighting relegation for 80% of the time. With this season, they're in the semi-final of CAF Confederation Cup. They're on the verge of coming out of that relegation and survive because of the mentality has changed. CAF has taught them how to fight, how to win games, even in difficult circumstances. So the game is slowly improving, and Mamelodi Sundowns is a big part of it. And that's why it's so important for all the coaches at Mamelodi Sundowns, for all the players that are playing, being given an opportunity, knowing and understand that you can't play next season that's like the way you played this season. Because and that's why I remember saying what I'm so excited and looking forward to see what Cassius will do next season, because now everybody will know who Cassius is. They will try and defend him a little bit differently. So now how does he improve the game? So, and the reference that I can use coming back is, you look at him, he always improves his game every season. He becomes better and better and better and better. Peter Shalulile becomes better and better and better every season. I mean, Mokoena now, the last 6 months, unbelievable, amazing. So the teams, players are improving and improving, and it's just that it's one of those situations as well. The ones that are being given an opportunity, just think ahead. Don't think of this game failure. Just think ahead as to how do you need to improve. Use this game to improve whatever you're lacking at. Use this game to get us more minutes. It's if I'm giving 15 minutes, clock at 3Ks here. Because sometimes, because also there's a term that we normally use, even Kospaning Saron, like we use it loosely. Like teams need to learn how to defend with the ball, but without context, people don't know what that means. People were just using it, because defending with the ball also doesn't necessarily mean that you're not creating chances. It's just starving the opponent the ball, and by still poking and creating chances to score, not just keep the ball for the sake of keeping the ball. And I think with the guys as well that played against Amazulu, we didn't have that. We didn't have the element of, okay, we're going to be very arrogant on the ball, starve them the ball, force them to run more, force them to press so that they can open holes at the back and still pounce. You know, and I think maybe, and the only way to learn, it's games. Those type of games. Yes, those games will.
And
actually
I think
teach
that
you.
with that one, I think you're right, because when I looked at the second half of that match, none of the players said, "Okay, guys, the ball is out. Let's come." It's about time that we have 3-4 passes amongst ourselves. Let's see what Amazulu is gonna do. Stretch the last line. Peter, stay up there. The three midfielders come closer. Let's try to keep the ball more. And by going back to your point when you say you don't keep the ball for the sake of keeping the position, but you try to manipulate the last line.
So it's building up from the back. You don't build for the sake of building. You need to have an idea why you're building. You need to know the reason. You need to have a reason why you're building from the back.
I see a lot of teams.
Yeah. It's
what if there's no pressure?
There's a conversation for another next season. Okay, let's wrap this one up. Thanks, guys. That's the episode of Pitchside Podcast. Looking at the league, and we are out. Bye. Bye.